It's been a while since we've had a T680 on the lot. You guys know I like red trucks. This one's called Radiant Red. Are you actually going to tell them about the truck, or are you just going to stand there grinning at it like an idiot? I guess. Hey everyone, it's Josh at Kenworth of Richfield, and as I mentioned, it's been a while since we've had a T680 on the lot. Really glad we have this one. This one's a great all-around spec. Meant to be comfortable, but meant to stay within budget too. A lot of great stuff under the hood in the cab, so let's go ahead and get started with it. So let's start up at the very front of the truck. This truck is made to make long miles easier. It has an adaptive cruise control setup on it for that reason. That's what this panel's here for. This bumper is painted to match the rest of the truck. Once again, hard work doesn't need to look bad. It can look darn good. Underneath, you'll see it better over there. There's actually the air deflector. Helps deflect more air out around the truck instead of underneath it. This is all for fuel mileage here. Traditional Kenworth metal mesh grille. All the usual things that you'd expect to find in a truck this quality. More and more carriers are requiring them, and it just makes sense to have them. So this one, we put hood mirrors on it from the factory. One of the things that I really love about the T680 is how easy it is to open this hood. Once you have the hood open, you'll see a 510 horsepower Paccar MX-13 engine under here. One of the things that I really love about this engine is how low it builds its torque. 1,000 RPM, we've got our peak torque. This thing just lugs along and sips on fuel. A couple other things that this engine has, it's really just a big advantage for it. This weighs 350 pounds less than the Cummins X15. To me, that's a huge savings on that. When you think about all the miles that you're going to be putting in, 350 less pounds, it's a lot of weight you're saving. Something else that I really love about this engine is how quiet it is. This is an engine that just purrs. There's no other way to describe it. So you guys may think that this is a weird spot to take a shot of the truck. And what am I going to talk about here? Well, I'm going to talk about the transmission that's behind that engine. With this is the Paccar 12-speed automated transmission. This was built in conjunction with Eaton. Now, when I say automated, a lot of people are instantly going to jump to automatic, and it's not that. In the same sense, when I say automated, a lot of people are going to think it's a manual that has the computer to it. It's not that either. This transmission was designed as an automated transmission from the get-go. From the moment it was conceived in someone's head to the moment it ended up in this truck, it was an automated transmission. Whereas most automated manual transmissions were exactly that. Manual transmissions that were automated. When you think of an automatic transmission like an Allison, that uses a torque converter and clutch packs and things of that nature. This is designed much more like a manual transmission. It's gear driven. It has a clutch. In the same sense, there's no provision for a stick out the top of this. It's never going to be a manual transmission. It never was a manual transmission. That's what makes this truck shift so smooth and so fast. And I'm going to show you guys some of that here a little bit later when we go for a drive, but just wanted to talk about it a bit for now. So on this truck, we've got Bridgestone Ecopia rubber, 295, 75, 22.5 inch, front and rear. Those are wrapped around Alcoa Durabrite wheels. Very standard, very easy to find when you're out on the road. Once again, we want to make this easy to put in a lot of miles. Keep everything held up on the front. We've got a Meritor axle rated for 13,200 pounds, 13,200 pound springs. Notice the theme there. We've also got disc brakes on the front end of this truck. So in the back end here, things are a little bit different. We've got, once again, Meritor axles, 20,000 pounds each, gives us a total of 40 for those of you that aren't good with math. Inside the rear ends, we've got a 279 rear end gear. Now, I know you heard me mention that Paccar transmission. With that transmission, this gear ratio works very, very well. This gives you an equivalent engine speed somewhere in the low 3s. So don't think this gear ratio means what you think it does. Does that make any sense? If not, put it in the comments below and I'll help you do the math. And I'll show you what we're talking about here. As for what's holding everything up in the rear end, we've got the AG400L. This is a 4-bag suspension. Great over-the-road suspension. A lot of guys have been using it for a lot of years and love it. Maybe that's what the L is for. So this truck has full fairings from the front wheel all the way back to here. Now, Kenworth doesn't really go back to the wheel anymore on these because they use this little bit of a kick out to help push air out past the rear wheels. Does a great job of doing that, helps keep the fuel efficiency up, keeps you rolling down the road, and gives you decent access to the frame back here. Behind this, 120-gallon fuel tank. On the other side, 110-gallon fuel tank, because you can't make money when you're standing at the fuel pump. So it made a difference with the W900 and W990, and with this truck having the Paccar transmission in it, I really wanted to get this thing out on the road and take it for a ride with you guys to kind of go over some of the things with it. With that being said, this transmission is very fast and very, very smooth. It blows me away every time I get in one of these trucks with this transmission and how quickly it goes through the gears. This transmission shifts much more car-like than it is truck-like. There's not this big luggy feeling with it. It's very smooth, it just drives forward. The difference between a standard ultra shift transmission or an automated manual transmission and this new Paccar 12-speed, the jump between those two is huge. If you haven't liked automated manuals in the past before, for whatever reason, if there's one for your application in this, you need to try it. Here we're taking off from a traffic light. It started off in 4th, straight to 6th, to 8th, and I mean, I'm barely even in it, and it goes. I mean, it's just got this raw pull. It also, something that's interesting about it that throws some people that I've seen is this lets the truck run at a fairly low RPM. If you look at how this engine's designed to run, this truck has the full 1850 torque at 1,000 RPM. So some guys may want to run an engine up, and this will do that a little bit, but it's going to run lower than you think you need to. But what's funny is when you stand on it, I mean, there's plenty of power here to do exactly what you need. This transmission just knows what you want it to do so much better. I've mentioned in other videos in the past how you have to adapt a little bit to the standard ultra shift transmissions. And a good driver can adapt to the vehicle that he's driving. This is seamless. I mean, you just get in, there's 2 pedals to mess with, and it knows what you want. It sounds weird to say, but it really does. So guys, in the bunk back here is actually a really nice setup. This is the 76-inch high roof sleeper. This is a double bunk, and I'll show you the top bunk here in just a minute. I really like this setup, and one of the other things that we have added in really makes this that much nicer. This has the KIMS system, which is the Kenworth Idle Management System. This is a battery-operated APU setup. It works really well, does a good job of keeping your truck cool or warm or whatever you need. This system has a power inverter to it, so that way you can run 110 volt accessories. On top of that, this truck also has a plug over on the side. That way you can plug in shore power. It uses a 20 amp plug, which is like a circular style plug. Runs on 110 volt though. With that, you can power everything, and it's going to charge the batteries at the same time. So as far as cabinets and everything go in this truck, we've got basically the standard fare here. We've got the wardrobe closet over here. Up on top of that is a setup for the top bunk. It's basically your nightstand up there. You can also use over here. There's a spot for a microwave here that has your TV mount. This truck, we also have the table in it. I really like this setup. To me, it's just super versatile, very easy to use. Instead of putting drawers down below, we've actually got just two shelves down there. Over here, we've got your refrigerator. Once again, the inside of this truck, it's spec'd with the Vantage interior, which is a really nice, really quiet interior. In the same sense, we've got a lot of creature comforts in here, but we've taken some steps to keep the price in check for you. With it having the KIMS system on it, once again, you're not going to have to go out and add an APU onto the price of this. It's already got one in it. When you're talking about the upper bunk in these trucks, one of the big ways that Kenworth, I think, made an improvement to it was how it comes down and goes back up. And let me show you with this, because on this one, in order to bring it down, there's just this strap here. Pull that, and it actually helps hydraulically, if I remember correctly, lower itself down so that way it doesn't just slam. It makes it really easy to lower it, put it back up. There's plenty of room up here. Like I said, you can use this as a nightstand. There's one over on this side also. One of the ways that I think that they really improved the top bunk was how it latches when you fold it up. In the older cabs, you've got to line up a seat belt buckle and things of that nature. This uses like a car trunk style or car door style latch on it. So really, once again, it's got a little of assist for you, but when you go to close this, it just latches and you know it's there. It's really just a nice setup, very easy to use. Fold it down, flop it back up, really simple. So I know I said before that it had been a while since we had a T680 sleeper in especially. And I'm really glad that this one is the one that we got. This really is a good, well-rounded, comfortable, but not gonna break the bank spec. When you put on the fact that it's radiant red on top of that, well, I like it. With all that being said, do me a favor and make sure you're subscribed. We're gonna have plenty more 680s coming in. Maybe another W900 coming up soon too. Just saying. Give us a thumbs up if you like this. As always, stay safe out there. Keep a rubber side down. I will catch you on the flip side.